Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It's my birthday week. We're celebrating all kinds of stuff here right now, but we're going to be talking about what kind of comics do you want for your birthday? What would be the grail? Glenn and I have kind of figured out a couple of them. I've got a stack of them, actually, I want to show you. Let's see what you come up with, too. Be back in a minute.
Welcome to the Comics Unlimited podcast with your hosts, Glenn B. Fleming and Ted Davis.
Good morning. Good afternoon, Glenn. What's up?
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, how's it going?
Very good. Welcome to Comics.
Birthday boy week.
Yeah, birthday boy. It was Saturday, but yeah, we got to celebrate the whole week, right? Comics Unlimited podcast. Welcome everybody. It's gonna be a good show. We've got a lot to talk about. I'm Ted Davies,
and I'm Glenn Fleming.
Yep, and we are. I know that we're excited about it. There's so many comics covers and everything that we can go over. I've got a stack, like I said, some behind me that I know that you and I both love, Glenn. But first, we're part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, so let's talk about that for a minute. Check out everything we're doing 7 days a week. We're a group of creatives that help creatives build their business. And check us out on Facebook on Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Plug into what we're doing. I think you might like it. We're also sponsored by Cashman's Comics in Bay City, Michigan. John Cashman's been there 26 years, and he does everything comics. So check out everything that he's doing. He can ship nationwide.
I don't believe it.
That's John now. John's calling. No problem.
It is to me.
It's all good. This is live, man. This is how it works.
Yeah, but it's one of those by our double glazing.
Oh, got it. Like a robocall, or yeah. Well, that's I got you.
Somebody from Thailand wanted me to, anyway.
So check out everything that
somebody from Thailand called Robert.
Oh, did they really?
Usually,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, sorry.
Sorry to interrupt you there. No, it's good. Check out everything that John's doing. Say hi, Petey, the guard dog. If you go down to the shop, and he can pick up a couple of my books there while you're there. So, all right. So we're gonna leave that up there for the people to check out. Make sure you check out John Cashman. Let's say good morning to everybody. Donna, Carl, Joe, how you doing, man? Joe says, "Oh, it's Comics Unlimited today." Glenn, the publisher supreme.
I don't know about that. Thank you, Joe. Very nice. Nice article you wrote for me as well in the next issue, which yeah. I'm finishing off this week, and I'll be sending you the PDF, Ted,
right.
to check it over, and then we can get it out for some early May.
Sounds good. I didn't see Joe's article. Was it the other one you sent? I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I'll have to. Oh, okay. I'll read.
Yeah, maybe
I skimmed past it. Sorry, Joe. I'll check that one out. So, okay. Well, I know one of the first books that one of the first covers I want for my birthday, which I did receive, Jack Kirby's book. So this personal journey, I know we've been beating this horse a little bit, but I'll tell you what, it's still on demand, right? It's still in demand for Indiegogo.
Yeah.
Check out everything with that Glenn, like I said, set the standard. It's the one of the books I wanted for my birthday. I did receive it, so thank you. Ryan Permisson's in. John Celestri, how you doing, sir? Got some big news with John coming up next week. We'll be announcing. You guys will see. All right, so what? You've had more birthdays than me, so you go first. What kind of comics did you want, or do you want? What kind of comics? Do you have any?
I'd like to see. I mean, this may already be out there. I've never seen it, but I'd like to see reprints of the Prince of Valiant stuff from the 30s and 40s, because those influenced Kirby.
Interesting.
But I always look at that artwork by Alex Raymond, and it's more like Wally Wood than Jack Kirby. It's very nice, thin, line economy and all that kind of thing. But I'd like to see a reprinted version of that. Plus, I'd like to see the true version, the true printed version of The Rise and Fall of the Trigon Empire, which was in Ranger magazine over here in the 60s. It's all hand-painted artwork by Don Lawrence. And there's been several volumes reprinted of it, because it ran for about 15 years. So there's a lot of stuff
Really?
there. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff
Wow.
there, and his artwork is just amazing. And I've got a reprint book, but what they've done, because Ranger was an odd size, they chopped up all the artwork and they've left panels out.
That's not good.
Actually left panels out. But the reproduction isn't too good. There is a bigger edition I've seen in Forbidden Planet, but I've not looked at it because it's all wrapped up and everything. And I'm a bit loath to buy it because I've already got most of it, and I don't know whether all of it's in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to pay a lot of money and not get the full thing again.
Well, right, obviously, yeah.
So, but yeah, that kind of stuff. And see, I'm from the time of TV Century 21 with Thunderbirds in it, all that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think that's a great era.
It's
a great
era. The artwork in those is just, Frank Bellamy and Mike Noble. It's just, we've said this before. So that kind of those are the comics I would like to see, and I'd also like to see somebody not reproduce them, but make their own like that in that style, because the artwork is amazing.
Do you think it wouldn't be the same? I mean, now,
No.
I mean, you're talking traditionally. You're not talking digitally. Because
that's how I try and do mine, and those are the guys that influence me.
Right. And
we've had this conversation before.
Sure.
I'm not against how a person makes art, however they make it.
Yeah, right.
And that's fine. But that doesn't mean that things from the past are no good, or they're redundant. It doesn't mean that at all.
I agree. It's just, and it sets a time frame of when things were done. Ryan has a couple things he brought up. Thank you for wishing me a happy birthday. Peter's in the audience too. Peter Ryan. Let's see, another good topic today, Ryan said, and then he also said, I'd like to get a Phantom Stranger #1 by Mike Mignola. And Paul, you know what? I've got it here. I've got it on my
What a surprise.
Yeah, right. I've got it, but I don't have it on at the desk here. So yeah, I'm not going to bring it over. But yeah, Ryan, message me and I'll send you a picture of it. It's awesome, dude. It's an awesome picture.
Oh dear.
Let's see.
You'll have to do, if you send him a picture, you'll have to do what the guy did. When the first place I ever went abroad was Holland, Netherlands. Yeah. And I had a brand new passport. First time I've been on an aircraft, first time I've been abroad. And when I got to the customs, or whatever you call it, the immigration, the guy looked at my passport and looked at me and all that, this Dutch guy, and he gave it me back, and he didn't stamp it. So I said to him, it's the first time I've been away. Can you stamp my passport? And he did, and he gave me back, and then I had to walk through. And when I looked at it, when I got through, I still got it. He's put just the corner of the stamp. It doesn't say anything. It's just the corner. And I thought, what a mean son of a.
Right.
And you could do that. You could do that when you take this photograph of this comic and just show the top.
No, no, that'd be so mean. And yeah, that's it. But it is it's a really cool cover though, Ryan. It's a little pulpy, version, and they did a nice job. The colors are great on it too. And then Ryan also said that he wants the original Transformers comics too. I think that could happen. Actually, we might be able to make that happen. Let me know, Ryan, what your budgets are, but I think we might be able to make that happen. I've got an avenue. You guys know that I've got an avenue with a lot of comics.
This is the interesting thing, you see, because I've seen those Transformers. Well, when I say I've seen them on the shelf, but I never picked them up because by then I wasn't reading comics. I don't read that many comics today, unless they're the old stuff.
Yeah, right.
And
right.
And I'm not decrying Transformers or anything like that, but there's a lot of stuff out there that people talk about that I have no clue about because I just don't know. The only thing I know about is Fantastic Four from 1968.
Yeah, right. Well, Ryan says he said, "Let's go crazy." He said, "I'd like to Marvel What If comics and a Werewolf by Night too." Well, there you go. There's one right there. I've got a bunch of the What Ifs too. One of the coolest ones. I don't know if I've got it here or not. Hold on, let me see if I've got. I don't know if I have it here or not.
Well, Ryan, you might not get the one that he's going to get, but you will be getting this one shortly. It'll be on its way soon. So this is all you need, and you'll be able to watch.
That one, yeah.
And you can watch this to your heart's content.
Yeah,
2 hours.
And this was actually well, I'm just going to talk about it. This one is awesome.
Yeah.
This What If. I know that you don't like these ones, Glenn, but
I don't see the point. But it's very nice artwork. Nice art.
What a great concept, though. These alternate timelines are just phenomenal. What?
I don't like that.
I know.
Oh, not again.
I don't like phone ringing in my live shows either, but that's okay.
Can't help that.
What ifs are well, and Pete, you and I grew up on those ones because that's the difference between the boomers and the millennial, or the Gen Xers, because you have, the boomers they didn't question anything, they just rolled with it. We questioned things, and that's why they came out with these beautiful.
That's not true at all.
No. Make me into a liar.
You're being ageist now. You're being ageist.
That's a big word.
All it does is make me think less of you.
That's okay. Opinions vary. Whatever. It's my birthday week. Whatever. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So that's good though. The basis of what you're saying though is you like the older ones, older even prior to Jack Kirby, the ones that inspired him, and that makes a lot of sense because I think I would want to know what inspired, Leonardo da Vinci. There's things that. Yeah, Mike Mignola, I know what inspires him.
The thing about the Prince Valiant stuff is that if you think at the same time when those things were coming out with that beautiful artwork, we had that scratchy, pretty crappy Superman, Simon Schuster Superman coming out. It's pretty cartoony, isn't it? It's not very good, is it? But I like good artwork. Good artwork is timeless.
You appreciate good artwork. You are, but you've studied this. It's been I consider artwork anything that is a spiritual practice for me. Yeah. It's just who I am. It's just the way it works.
Yeah.
Whether I'm creating that or writing, that's just part of it. Now, do you have anything that's like did you get any comics to show? Because I've got a whole list of stuff.
No, I've not. No, I don't. I've got my collection's all locked up. I didn't go there. So
it must be nice to have a vault like that. Wow.
Well, you should see the size of my house. It's full of.
Is
comics.
it right by the Jag? Yeah. What is it? The Jag?
No, I don't go for cars. I'm not a car.
The Norton? What do you got? A Norton bike?
I just got a Ford. Just Norton Ford.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. All right, hold on.
I don't go for cars.
Sacrilege, man. Okay, birthday comics. Joe. All-Star Comics number 8, the first appearance, Origin of Wonder Woman. Yeah, we talked about that. That's a big one. The Sunday morning collection of Will Eisner, The Spirit, Wonder Woman number 1 volume. Wow. That's a tall order, but that's what I'm talking about. That's great.
When would that Wonder Woman be from?
Oh God.
40s.
Joe, what, the 40s? Must be. I know Joe just picked up another if I can tell him, Joe, another Wonder Woman that's sold to him. Shipping out next week. But man, I think those are all from the 40s that I think, but correct me if I'm wrong, Joe. Beautiful stuff though. I mean, we got 2 copies of 2 different comics. Man, they're gorgeous. I'm glad that Joe picked them up. I'm glad he bought them from me. 46, 45, 46. So this is right after the war. These are like, I love that era anyway, because it has a lot of hope. They're bringing a lot of hope back into the, okay. So you said yours. Let me go through mine, because I've got a couple of them. Well, these are the ones I've already got. And this is something that if I didn't have them, these are the ones that I'd want. So as you know, the back wall, you already seen that one. 52. I mean, that's going to see, that's actually going to be comic graded here next week. We're sending it out. And so is Werewolf by Night. Those 2 are, what can I say about that? You already know about the Star Wars one.
Yep.
My Star Wars number 1. I've got that one. We just got it. I just received that one. So that's,
wow.
And that's in pristine condition. It's not a 9. I don't think it's going to be like a 9.6 or anything, but it doesn't matter. I've got one that's.
What would the print run on that? Does anybody know? What would it
I don't
be?
know.
Would it
we
be about
should check that out. I don't know.
300,000 maybe?
Oh God, probably more than that. I know it's the first printing, so I don't know. But we'll go back to the comments in a minute. Let me see. that's one of them. The other one, obviously, the other Star Wars one, which I did receive because of
you
that one.
showed that before.
That's just,
Look at
but
that.
that's me just geeking out.
That's nothing wrong with that.
This one I really like. This is one of my favorite. I know that Brian Rodman, if you're listening to this on the replay or whatever, this is one of the comics I think is the unsung hero of Mike Mignola. Amazing Screw on Head. It is one of the best one-off stories. Look at the artwork.
Look at that. Wow. I've never seen that.
It's fantastic. And they made it into an animated short. It's just a fantastic book. It's just fantastic. It's a special agent that has a screw-on head. He works with Abraham Lincoln, and it's freaking awesome. It's just a great story. And
did he write it? Did he write it?
He wrote it. Actually, I think with his daughter, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
And they, it's a fantastic book. That one I want to. I have one. I've got one for me, and I've got two of them, but that one is a pristine one. And then when
was it published? Sorry, when was that?
Early 2000s.
Right.
Early 2000s. So this one, if I didn't have this, I'd want this one as well. So this is my Hellboy number one, Seed of Destruction. This is this is a paramount book for me. This changed a lot.
With a Y in the top corner there.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's just a great book. It's in impeccable shape too. So those are some of the ones. Not bragging, just that's what I mean. But I'm saying I've in my collecting over the years, I've achieved a lot just of what I wanted to get, and now they're starting to show their values. The value of it all. All right, let me go back here. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so good morning, Eric. How you doing? Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm glad you guys are writing so much. Just give me a second here. Okay, so let's go back. So I would agree to Pete. Ryan says, I agree with you, Joe. I would love to have a whole run of the original Wonder Woman 1940s. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So then Carl says, wasn't the other stretchy guy like Mr. Fantastic, except with more humor? I'd like to find that series again. And then Joe said, actually, I was wrong. It's All-Star number 8, 1941.
Wow.
You remember Plastic Man? That's what Pete says. Yeah. Carl, it was Plastic. Yeah. I remember. So I know a lot. Good morning, Eric. How you doing? Ted, that Boba Fett with thank you. And I'm glad. One of the things I like about John is that he didn't want to sign somebody else's artwork. And I totally dig that. So the fact that he sent that card with his signature on it that I could put with that, that's just so cool. I know I'm fanboying again, but all right. And then of course, Carl says, thanks to Pete for another found. Well, we all know how that goes, don't we?
We do,
yeah. And then Wonder Woman number 1, volume 1, 1942. That would be another, that would be his pinnacle. Amazing Screw-On Head is great. See, Damien, he backs me up. How you doing, Damien? I hope you're feeling okay. We're going to be talking tonight too. So I want to make sure I get a hold of you tonight. I got a couple things I need to go over. One of the ones that I do, another great one that I really, really like, that I do have in my collection, actually thanks to Peter Ryan, actually, is this one. We've talked about this, the George Perez.
Yeah.
I still love the colors in this. And I know it's a little billboardy. It's got a lot of stuff on this side, but I still love it. It's still one of my favorite.
Wasn't there a thought? Was it Stan Lee who said you should never have green on the cover? And that's there's this didn't I'll go with the flow here. Didn't he create something called the Hulk? He's green. Now I know
the first one was gray. Number one was gray,
but he was only gray because of a color mess up at the printer. It wasn't meant to be gray. So anyway, Green Lantern.
It right, yeah, behind me, yeah, right,
yeah,
or Green Hornet for that matter. I mean, all kinds of. Yeah. Pete, come on now, man. These are worth a lot of money, bro. I'm just saying. I do need the entire run of Star Wars too. I agree with that. and that could be completely doable. There's a lot of people that
Is
have
that
them.
Al Williamson?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well,
and
maybe.
And also, didn't Chaikin draw it as well?
Yes, I think. Well, some. Not. I don't know. We'll have to
Al
check that out.
Williamson used to do the newspaper strip, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I don't know whether he did the comic book.
Donna, if you want to invest in some Archie comics, dear, you know who to call. I've got a lot of them. So, even the small books too. I got this. Those are crazy. I know. Used car salesman Ted here. Okay. What did he say? Joe says Archie Comics isn't bad. Donna just started picking them up recently. They are. They're really good. I didn't appreciate the art until we got one of the slabs from the Betty selection. That one I showed you a couple weeks ago. I really appreciate the art now more than, because I always thought it was kind of, not cheap, but just quick, art, not. But I really, after seeing the work and the line work and everything else and the coloring that went into it, very cool. Very cool.
I never really picked Archie comics up. They're more cartoony, weren't they? The characters.
Yeah. It's like Beetle Bailey in that. I'm not real, I learned to draw with that as an idea, but not.
It's not the best of it.
Yeah, and Ryan's really got a thing for the shadow. He really likes the shadow and the phantom and that's cool. I dig that. All of the speculation, everything else of what these are valued at or whatever, it doesn't matter really when it boils down to it. You get what you want. If it's a $1 bin comic that you want and you love it, do it. Who cares?
Yeah, of course.
Some of these, some of these Captain America, the Captain American now, Pete knows, I think. I don't know what they stated. It was the #1 selling, I want to say it's the #1 selling comic or sold comic worth. I forget, $1 million or something, whatever it was. Let me know, Pete, what it was. I know Superman sold for a crazy amount of money recently.
3 million, wasn't it? 3.5 million.
It was nuts. But the one with Cap #1,
I just
it's nuts.
I just wonder if you can give somebody $3.5 million for a comic.
Yeah.
My question is, or my thought is, how much money has that person got that you could lay out $3.5 million for a comic? They got
$3.5 million less than they did yesterday.
But next week it might be worth $4 million.
Yeah. Well, and that's just it. The way that the comics market is, these are retirement. These are, I think that it's probably, and I know that, things fluctuate, and don't take it from me, but I seriously, they are retirement investments. If you do it properly, you could make, you really could. That's one
of the reasons why you're going to buy my collection and a load of my artwork. I'm selling it all, people. I'm selling it all.
Yep, you are.
Let me know.
Yeah, announced it right now. In fact, we just talked about it. There's your last 30 years of all your work, 40 years of all your work that you've got, original art. You're going to start putting it up on the net, and we're going to start liquidating your collection.
And the reason for that is that I want. There's a few places I want to go.
Yeah,
and that's great. If I could sell artwork and get somewhere, I'd be really sort of proud of myself for that, because it would be an achievement that somebody would invest in my artwork and I could get on a plane and go somewhere.
Well, I think that's easy. We just do it. The prices will be, I know the prices will be fair. And, here's the thing. You don't, for a lot of people don't know you're pretty prolific when it comes down to this. The last 40 years, you've done a lot of work, lot of work. Crikey was a huge success. Alan Moore, you got a picture of Alan Moore reading. I don't know how more success you could get than that. But, and then, the things, and that's one of the reasons why I want to join forces with you with Comics Unlimited, because I see a huge amount of potential for this, for you especially. Yeah. And I know everybody else here, I'm preaching the choir. Everybody else here agrees, I'm sure. So, okay. So Jody says that they're recently 8.0 Captain America pedigree copy sold for 3.2 million. That's what I thought.
Wow.
So, and then Superman Action Comics #1 has held the spot at the highest. Okay. And then Cap Comics sold 3 million. Okay. So we got 2 people that verified that. But no, I think that we were talking about that. I think you should sell whatever you're comfortable with, put it out into the market, because I think that definitely you're going to be building not only a future for you and Helen, but also building a collection for other people, myself included.
Well, it's like you said. I've got these comics now, these older comics from the 60s, the early 70s. So, some of them are signed, and I think it's time that somebody else held it.
Yeah. Well, we're stewards. That we say that all the time.
That's the word. Yeah.
We are stewards of these of this history, and we need to pass it on. Whether there's monetary gains in it or what have you, there should be some type of monetary gain.
See, this is one of the reasons I can understand why people slab comics, but I do understand that, and I'm not saying I wouldn't do that if I had that kind of quality and that rare comic.
Yeah.
But these things are meant to be enjoyed.
I agree, 100%. Yep.
And I would love it if somebody would like a piece of my artwork to stick on their wall.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Well, let's get it priced and let's get it out there, because I think that you're definitely, I know I'm going to have some. So, the biggest thing with a lot of this too, I think you put up a good point here. I don't think that I think that there's certain, and I know Pete and I have gone through this too. We've talked in depth about it as well. I think I've talked to a lot of people about it actually, but Peter and I, exactly, we're talking about, what do you grade? I think that things like this, like the Fantastic 452 or the signed 53,
Joe Sinnott,
these need to, they're documents. They're historical documents as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not saying you can't read them, but I think that this type of quality needs to be preserved. And if it means that it needs to be on a wall of just all of them together, that's fine. Or if it's in somebody's house here and somebody's house there, whatever.
Are you going to have that? Are you going to have that New Gods and Fantastic Four behind your slab, or are you just having them?
I think the New Gods, yes. that New Gods is a 9. It's pristine. It's absolutely. I wish that Jack would have signed that. I mean, you've got the copy that's all ripped, but Jack's signature's on that book. I mean, that's huge.
I wish I'd taken more, but you can't.
Well, understandably,
he can't dominate things like that. I don't think.
Sure.
Because I think he would have signed them all. If as many as I took, I think he would have signed them.
One of the things that you really like is him, the character him, and that was one of the things that with this one, it's all torn on the bottom. But these type of things, I'd like to see if they can repair some of this. If they can work with it. This is where I think the restoration comes into play. This is where, and I think that it's our responsibility to take care of that, so that there's still things that we can show people in the future.
Well, it's ironic you should say that, because when it's slabbed, it's sealed.
It is.
But you can't look at it. And you can't hold it.
You can't look at the interiors right now.
That's right.
There are there's other things though that you can read per page digitally, which is fantastic. It's great. One of the things too, though, is you're protecting it from the elements. That's the big thing. So, I'm a firm believer you should always buy 2 of every comic that you're going to be collecting, one to read, one not. Because the reading ones are just as valuable, I think, if not more so, because you can read them. I was talking to Brian K. Morris about that last week. We said, I'm going through all these Fantastic Four. Sorry. I'm salivating. Okay. Yeah. I've got some of these. Joe was kind enough to sign these, Joe Sinnott. We've been so fortunate. I know you don't like some of these covers, but this one here, Joe.
Look at that. It's fantastic.
They're beautiful. Fantastic Four, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
But but I think it's our responsibility to definitely take care of them. I think that's. I'm not saying you can't enjoy them, but there comes a balancing act of, if they were written in stone, it would be a little bit different. We know that it would be preserved in time.
Yeah.
But I think for archives, we need to do that. And if
Yes.
you know, I don't think it, and I know Joe D doesn't care for speculation either, but I think that there's a balancing act to it. There's got to be some speculative market to show value in it, but it also, if you're a true collector, then you're a true collector. Pipe up, guys. What do you think? Do you think that
I
there's?
try, as you know, I tried to be a true collector till I was 16, until my mum threw them all out, so or
Yeah.
had me get rid of them. So
Just it's
we all
heartbreaking,
know-
and I hear that a lot from people.
Yeah,
A
we've
lot of
all
guys
been-
your age have said
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh,
it's
I grew up too
tragic.
fast, or I grew up. My mom's like, okay, we got to get these out of here for whatever reason. God knows, but not enough room in the house, whatever.
Under the bed, not enough room.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that's
Clearly in the way.
So I've already got. I mean, Pete already. Everybody's jumping in. Yeah, they're gonna definitely buy your art. See, I told you.
Right.
So
Yeah.
this is gonna be, and like I said, you've got.
I need some time to get my website back up. It was hijacked a while back.
Yep.
Or the name was. So I've been a bit lax in that, but I've not been sitting around doing nothing. I've been doing lots of other things. I just haven't had a chance to do my own website.
Sure.
So yeah, I'll need to look at that, I think.
I mean, like we said too, that if you want to put them up on auction, there's ways. There's people that I know that we can get it structured. I want first grabs, so that's all I'm saying.
Well, money's money.
I'll let Christine know. Hey, Glenn said money's money, honey. There you go.
Your money's just as good as anybody else's.
Right. So, but yeah, I think that and it doesn't really matter if it's your birthday or not. I know that there's certain things for comics that we strive for. I would love to have, Batman #1, that kind of any grail that you could think of. But I mean, realistically, I've got it. I enjoy the Hellboy one was a big one for me, and you can pick them up pretty or you could at the time, pretty easily. Now those
Hellboys are in volumes, aren't they? They're reprinted in volumes now. I'm sure I've seen them.
Omnibus in there, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've got one of them up there. I got the BPRD and all the rest of it. Yeah,
does Mignola write Hellboy?
Yeah.
He writes and draws it.
Yep. Right. And he's got some other artists that are good, but they're not him.
Well, you showed that artwork a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
That black and white one with the what was it you showed? It was from Hellboy. I can't remember the actual drawing, but you showed this. You showed it. You had a print of it, I think. It's absolutely amazing.
Some of them, and he's like Kirby in that, because the joints of the figure. It's him. It's totally him on the paper.
Yeah.
Let me read this real quick. So there's natural rarity for comics, and there is speculative value. Should not be. Yeah, I agree with that. I know that some of them, the variant covers kind of get on me a little bit. Some of them there's so many of them now. Yeah. How do you even begin to really calculate it all? And why is this one worth more than this? Some of them are beautiful. Some are beautiful. But
what was the guy called who's Todd? Todd. What's he called?
McFarlane.
Yeah. Didn't he start that with his Spider-Man run in the early 90s?
Yeah.
And didn't they do a silver one and a gold one and everything? Yep. And the silver one was.
Well, I don't know if he started it, but yeah, he really made it famous. I think
there was. I mean, I wasn't buying. I saw the comics, but I wasn't buying them then. Somebody showed me, and I think it was the silver one that was the rare one. For some reason, that wasn't printed as many. I don't know.
I had the gold one, and then actually, and then I just I think Pete's got he's got all my McFarlane Spider-Man now. I just handed him over everything I had last week, so he's going through them now, which ones he's keeping, what's not. But we'll see how that turns out. See if I get any back. But yeah, McFarlane's an interesting character. Marketing wise, his brand and everything, he's a genius. He's a great artist too. But marketing wise, I mean, with everything with the toys and it's just incredible. Yeah. Incredible marketing side of it. So I mean, that's however you feel about them, but that's
I'm going to start a line of Hatch merchandise.
Yeah, I think you should.
You know,
I think you should.
So look
I
out
think
for that.
Absolutely. I think you get him done and have Damien start doing some, let's start getting some figures made up.
Well, I've got Helen
Platinum.
on that. I've got Helen
Platinum.
on that.
Right. That's right. That's right. You do. Platinum was the one that that sold the most. So there's some of them. They're hard for me. It's hard to really see them. We've got a couple now that this came in that are gold. They're gold pressed or gold dipped or whatever, and they're 22 karat gold covers.
Wow.
And it's like, but they're hard for you to read. For me, it just looks like a big embossed blob of gold on some of it. Some people love them, and that's great. But
what are they going for?
Anywhere. Some of them are $100, some of them are less. It just depends because there's no demand for it right now. I mean, it's not like you're going to melt down the book, right? They're not solid gold. They're like almost like a gold leaf. You know what I mean? On the book or part of the book cover. Joe says I got all three of the McFarlane Spider-Man #1, but that goes to printing. It not the same variant covers. Okay. I don't know what he meant by that, but that goes to printing. I know that to get all three of them is awesome. I mean, I think Pete's got a couple of them, but they're really they're a beautiful cover, and I have a lot of respect for that many lines that he's done with. I mean, Eric Hawkins was talking about the Zombie World of Oz, the variant cover he's got for the I don't know if it's Scarecrow, but he did the same, and it's a pseudo. It's a variant cover, much like the Spider-Man one with all the webbing and everything else. And he said it took him forever to do. It took him a long time to finish it. And he has a whole new respect for McFarlane. Joe also said Gen 13 #1 had 13 variant covers for the same time. See, I think that's ridiculous. It's like the Batman's got, I bought the Bill Sienkiewicz Catwoman. I showed it a few months ago, and that was beautiful. I love that one. I like Bill's work anyway, but it's just there's so many. There's so many. And then Eric said he's got the slipcase for those 13. Do you have all 13 covers, man? If he's got the slipcase.
Seems like it, yeah. Wow.
He might. A thing I like about Eric too is Eric invests. I mean, he really invests on like Star Wars figures, Funko Pops. I mean, he really does. He really looks for stuff, and it's fun. It's fun to watch him. Yeah, I got that. Yep, I got this one. Moon Knight. You know.
Does Eric have? And he could put it in the chat if he's there. Does Eric have, or do you know anybody who has the original poster for Revenge of the Jedi? Have you heard about that?
No. Yes, I have seen that.
Right.
Pete might know. I don't have it.
Because they changed it to Return of the Jedi.
Right.
After they printed so many posters.
I know, man.
Wow,
that would have been awesome.
Imagine having that. I don't know how many were printed, but I mean, a lot of them were brought back and I suppose thrown away. I bet George Lucas has got a few. I hope he does.
Oh, I'm sure.
I hope he got them all back and put them in his back bedroom.
Right. If you guys could like and share this out too, that would be really helpful. I know it helped Glenn and me a lot. Yeah, I know that they had. I did see one poster, and they wanted I want to say $2,000 for it.
Wow.
I think they could probably get more though. Okay, hold on, Eric. It came with all 13, one signed by Jim Lee and one by Campbell. I did give the Jim Lee signed one to a friend for his 40th birthday. Wow. Well, I'm 51. Can you give me the Campbell one? I'm 51, man. Pete's got it. You got it? You got that poster?
Wow.
I didn't know you had that poster. You won't have it soon. I'm coming over. I didn't know you had that. Well, it's my birthday week, man. That's all I'm saying. So we're going to change this to the posters that we want for our birthday instead of the covers.
The posters.
Okay. An original Revenge poster is hard to find. I wish I had one. Pete, what are they going for, man? What's the value on those? Somebody look it up on Google since we've got it. I have to say, if anybody would have it, it would be Pete. I mean, he had I remember he had in his comic book store, he had right after Iron Man 1 came out, and he had one of the original suits that I think that they wore in the movie for the imaging. So it was like a foam suit, but he had it at the store it was so awesome. It was so, and I think it was the one that he wore in one of the suits that he wore in the filming.
Where did he get that from?
I don't know. God knows. Probably out of a back of a truck in California. So I don't know. God knows. I don't know how he got it, but I'm sure it was by good means. It wasn't bad, but
yeah.
Just sent you a picture, Ted, of the Spider-Man #1. Did you? Hold on. I gotta see if he sent it. Oh, he did. He did send it. Hold on a second. It's taking a minute for it to download. Sorry.
I'll carry on. In a few weeks, people, issue 9 of this is going to be coming out.
Hold on, I'll bring that up. Yeah.
This is issue 1. You can get all these on Amazon. And what it is, it's a magazine about comics. It's articles. It's all that. You've got Judge Dredd, Watchmen, Spider-Man, everything. So issue 9, which is the collaboration where Ted comes on board, it will be out in a few weeks. So watch out for that. But get them, and they're all on Amazon. They're all the first 7, I think, are 100 pages. 100 pages of all just lovely artwork and articles, and and all designed by me.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, the pages are.
Yeah, you're a master.
Not the characters, but there you go. Yeah, that's issue 9 is out in a couple of weeks.
Do we have a retail on that on Amazon? Do we know yet?
No, but we will do. We'll work on it.
It'll be reasonable, I promise, guys.
Yeah.
And we appreciate the investment. Okay, and you can find that on Glenn B. Fleming's Amazon.
Yeah,
and we'll post it out. We'll do a full posting and sharing out and everything. I'm looking forward to the book though. It looks smash. It looks so good.
We'll do a campaign on that.
What's that?
When I say we'll do a campaign,
campaign, absolutely,
we'll be pushing it.
Well, it's a couple of grand for sure. Well, I know. I hope it's framed. I'm sure it's rolled up, tucked away in a vault somewhere, but I don't know. That's awesome though. That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't seen any in years. I haven't seen any of the Revenge of the Jedi, which I think it would be awesome to see that, Pete. That would be great. Are there any comics that you of later, say Kirby's, that you would want to have now?
Oh yeah. I'd liked the some of the FF stuff. I've not got much of that now. I've got the Wedding of Reed and Sue Allen annual signed by Jack somewhere, and just the Fantastic Four, and that sort of period, 65 to 70, starting with I always start with This Man, This Monster, the greatest comic book story ever produced, in my opinion. But I'd like the Galactus ones and those that you have there. I know. Look at this. Come on, then.
Hop that plane.
Come on, then. Flip through them. What have you got? We've seen the top one.
52, 53, 55. I don't have 54.
Is 55 the one with the surfers zapping Ben? That's the one. That's the one. Look at that. Wow.
Could be yours, Glenn.
It could be.
And then we got 57.
Yeah. They're just amazing, aren't they?
They are. They're spectacular. And then
you can understand that story that Joe Sinnott says, can't you? That he used to lose an hour of his working day when he used to get a Jack Kirby package.
Oh, I know, right?
He just used to look at it for an hour and then start work.
Amazing. That was 62. Then we got 65. This one's signed by Joe.
Oh, look at that. Ronan the Accuser. Wow.
Just sick.
See, the thing is, is that, you're always having to go at me about my age, but I remember those things first time around.
I know. Well,
I was waiting for those.
And I appreciate you. I appreciate you for it, because I think that
I have them all.
It's actually that much sweeter for me, because not rubbing it in, but just the fact that I can know that you're time traveling right now, man. You're going right back to that time when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And that's something that I really dig. Another Joe signed.
Yeah.
That's a 79. 79.
Lovely. I just love the way he's just signed over everything.
Right.
He's not been careful and gone a little empty space.
No.
You want it signing, it's coming, and there it is.
Another right on, fantastic. Yeah, it's like bam. So, hold on, I'm not reading the comments. I'm sure you guys are making some pretty choice comments right now. Hold on 1 second. This one, you and I were kind of both on the fence about this one. This is 78. The inking on this is a little odd. It's very strong.
Yeah. It's that nose on Ben Grimm's face there.
Yeah.
I never quite got that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the pencil work on that, because I know that Jack Kirby was good at spotting blacks, but he used to sort of leave them open, right? Because nowhere is totally black, is it? So
that's one thing that Mignola does. He marks everything with little B's, B, where this needs to be black, red. This needs to be here.
I think that's I can't do that. Even when I'm inking it, I used to put a little X in for black.
Yeah. This is the 80.
Yeah. I don't like that cover. It's not the best one.
No, you'll like this one. This is 80 with Joe's signature. Okay, so I think you like that one. There's another Joe's signature one. This is 90.
Yeah.
So
look at that. It's fabulous, isn't it? Fabulous.
So hold on, guys. I'll get hold on a second. I'll get back to Eric's comment in a second. I like this cover. I know you weren't really crazy about this cover, but I kind of like this one.
Is that a John Buscema?
I think so. And then Joe.
I know Joe's inked it, but yeah.
Yeah, 109, and then we got 110. This one's cool. I like this one. It's just Joe's signature as well, right on the fantastic again.
Wow.
But
yeah, that's John Buscema.
Yeah. Tried to get the crackle on there.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, we got 113, signed by Joe.
I think that might be the last one I bought. The Ovum. I remember the Ovum. I remember that cover. So
yeah, I've got other ones over there too. I can keep going, but you get the idea. Get the idea.
I don't know.
Eric, hold on a second. Eric said, "Shoot, Ted. If I knew you were buying collections, I would have reached out and told you my brother's collection. 11,000 comics, and I'm sure his collection was second to none." Yeah, I mean, Brian's collection, I'm sure, was just amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah, I mean, there's things that it's more so getting. It's not necessarily buying them; it's moving them around and making sure the right people get them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. Yeah, there's there's money involved, but
I told you when I was doing Crikey, I was well in with DC Thompson, who produced the Beano and Dandy and things like that. They're up in Dundee. They're about 500 miles from me, a long way. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, that's really far. That's Dundee, really far, man.
Yeah, it is to us.
500 miles. Wow.
Yeah, Dundee, Scotland, different country.
It is.
And anyway, they said I could go up and look in their archive, and they've got. I didn't get around to it, and I'm trying to get there now. To look in their archive, because they don't let anybody go in their archive. But there were such advocates of Crikey and giving lots of access.
Yeah,
that's one of the regrets that I should put right. But to get up there, just for no reason, just to be there, just to see all that stuff, because they got stuff going back to the turn of the last century, artwork in boxes and things. They got this warehouse apparently full of boxes of artwork. Complete series of artwork. Mm-hmm. But it's sort of they're not getting the artwork now because people send PDFs in.
Right.
But this is all original artwork.
That's cool.
Amazing.
Got a little props back from Ryan. You are very, very welcome, man. Anything we do. I know I gave you some heat about that slab, but I'm glad you bought that. That #1 Phantom. I'm so glad you got it, man. As I know it's going to go up in value in time. And then Carl, of course, imagine how many cigars you could buy if you sold all those guys. Are you nuts, man? Are you crazy? Yeah, I could probably smoke to my last day, but I don't. We can do a couple cigars, yes. But do you need a Jim Lee signed book? I have a few. It's your birthday week, after all. Well, hey, man, if you're giving stuff away, absolutely. I've got a couple X-Men. I've got X-Men, Jim Lee. I don't know the numbers on them, but he signed a few He signed a few of them. We've got in the one of the boxes anyway. And then starting to enjoy collecting comics more and more. So thank you for the show. Comics Unlimited, fan for life. Awesome. Well, good, Ryan. And like I said, do it for the joy of it, but do it also think about the investment side of it too, because a lot of these that 30 years from now, even the new stuff now, depending on what, if you get away from the variant covers, there's a few variants that, you might want to invest in, but think about even the ones that you've got now, even the ones I was showing you, the fantastic things that are where we're at right now that are, say, $500 or a little less than that. The MCU is just beginning. That the whole, Pete and the rest of the guys will tell you, it's just the beginning. I think Warlock's going to be a big one. I think Black Panther is still going to continue on. I think that they're really going to have a good series there. It's a shame about him, the actor passing away, but yeah, I'm telling you, I think, see, we're on the same page, literally. I think that the Warlock is definitely something that's going to be valuable, and they're still reasonably priced.
Yeah.
I didn't hear Brad Paisley's Cigar Song yet, Eric. I have to listen to that. I'll get on Spotify and check it out. I did read that. I'm sorry, Ryan. I said I'm looking for the Phantom, aka the Ghost Who Walks comics. If we have any, I'll have to look in the archives. I think I might. I know I've got a couple Phantom books that I've got in the box. I have to double check. I know we got the Spirit. I got the Phantom. I got a couple of things, but Warlock from the New Mutants. Just
wow.
There's always a smart one in the queue. But yeah, there's a lot of things with investments though. Listen, look at Glenn. Okay, let's in closing here. So you had the full run of Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Not the full run, but almost the full run.
From number 1 to about 108 or 9, 10, something like that.
Okay, so number 1, the economics for that now, that would be enough for you to slightly retire on. You could, if it was in good shape, and God knows if it was signed by Jack, you could have punched your own ticket on that. Written your own check.
Yeah, I had them all. I had the Avengers, X-Men, Spider-Man, a lot, all of them, because I found them all on Oldham Market. We went up with them. They were a penny each.
Yeah,
they were a penny. There were boxes and boxes of them.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. The investment, though. Okay, so 50 years from the time that you bought them, 60 years now, whatever it is.
Yeah,
50 years, because they really started to pick up in value since the movies and everything else. The monies that are produced from that alone, you could have retired on. You could have that small group of books. So, I see a potential. I see a bigger potential than what you could make in the market, in the stock market. I think that the return on investments that I'm looking, it's incredible. For a 35-cent comic from 1978 or whatever it was, 75, to what they're valued at now, some of them are 1,000 times their value. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. But again, you don't have to wait that long to sell them either. So, speculation, like I said, it's subjective, just like art. So, but first off, read the books and enjoy them. Don't worry about the money that you're going to be making 30 years from now.
Well, you've seen my stuff; it's all falling apart. But
you've lived, man. You've done it.
But then again, don't forget when I was buying them at that age and later, they weren't worth anything. It's only now. But and with hindsight, everything's 2020, isn't it? So
right.
I should have argued with my mother, shouldn't I? Which I did frequently, but I should have argued about that.
Well, and it's all and it is what it is. I think that you are right. 2020, vision's always 2020.
I don't agonize over it really. It's just part of my life.
But you still have some comics that are still worth a lot of money that if you ever did want to get rid of them, you could. I look at it from an investment standpoint too, but stewardships. Joe says, get key comics and titles when you can afford them. I'm still grateful that I bought the Wonder Woman #8, 1945, with a CGC grade of 5.5 for $500 in the 90s.
Wow.
I have checked on it. I've checked on the value. Right, no doubt. And what was back in the 90s, it's CGC'd. It was sealed back in the 90s. I mean, so it's been sealed for 30 years almost, probably, or maybe 25 years. God, that's fantastic. And basically you stop the aging process of it. You slowed it down tremendously. Eric says, my mom didn't tell me for years that she used to read Wonder Woman and Fantastic Four. I said, where are they? She said, long gone. Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking. This has been a good show. Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you for showing us your comic collection. We're all coming to get you. There's there's people walking up your road now with burning crosses and things, and we're gonna get you.
The ships are on the lake. Yeah, Fight the comic Vikings.
The sails are coming over the horizon.
Right. So, and a lot of these, honestly, I'm going to be moving around too. There's going to be things I'm going to be selling soon. So, just keep an eye on that.
I'm thinking that when Helen and I come over, I'm going to be bringing 2 extra suitcases full of stuff, full of stuff.
The customs. I don't know what it's going to cost in customs for you to get the stuff back. I know that shipping some of this stuff overseas right now, I think
crazy.
Well, I've got some stuff with Grimm I've had to send, and it's like, they're like $35, like you were saying with the book here, your Kirby book, $35 minimum, which is okay. Whatever. It's still cheaper than a plane airfare, but yeah. We'll make sure I keep a couple of them. Just bring your checkbook.
Yes. Okay.
Thanks. I appreciate you guys stopping in. Check in with Drinking with the Davies tomorrow. It was pretty good. We didn't drop signal today, so that's great. That's great, what I was hoping for. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow. We're doing Jameson and ginger, the Detroit style with Verner's. That's my drink. That's my go-to. That's my normal. I
picked you up last week on your phone, weren't you?
Yeah, we had to do it. Because the modem died. Our modem crapped out on us, so we had to scramble. I'm like, well, we're going Facebook Live, man. If we get banned on Facebook, we do. I have to tell you,
when Helen and I watched the program, we sit there shaking our heads because you're both mad. You're both
we're nuts.
insane.
I know we're crazy, right? I know.
And I have to say this, and I know I'll probably get clipped round the head when I get over there, but Christine is insane.
She is. You gotta love her, man. I mean, she is.
It's the best podcast in the world.
She's the next breath I take, man. It's the reason why I still breathe. I mean, she's so funny. Carl says Boardroom Ted straightened out the internet. Well, you know what? I went back and forth. I tell you, Spectrum, they're still coming out Monday to make sure that the line outside is okay. Because yesterday I had a problem with it fluctuating, and it was at 10 o'clock, and it dropped the signal like 3 times in a 15, probably maybe a minute and a half. Wow. It was really weird. And so I called Spectrum back. I said, okay, I went and got the modem, got all the stuff you said for me to get. I did it, and it was working fine, and then it dropped off. And I said, can you send, well, if it drops 3 times, and they said within an hour, we're going to send somebody out anyway, because something's obviously wrong with the line on the exterior. So I don't want to be charged for it. They're like, you won't be. So, okay, good. So it's a hardware. It's got to be something like that, but at least the modem is working properly. And it seemed like everything was in good shape. I don't know. I'll watch it on the replay. Let me know, guys, if anything didn't sound right, or if it's sputtering or whatever. So, Joe, sometimes corporate Ted always wins. You try to be assertive and not insulting with people. I had to call Spectrum twice because the first person just kind of like, oh, we're just going to send somebody out. They didn't know that I just got a new modem. They didn't know how to check it. Called back. My son's like, call him back. Get somebody else. My son's brilliant. So I called him back, and they fixed it within 10 minutes. So
there you go.
And no, Pete wants me to get freaking Starlink. He hasn't shut up about it. Does anybody else have Starlink on the playback? Anything? Let me know what you guys know about Starlink and the cost of it all. Let me know.
It sounds like something out of an Arnie film, doesn't it? Starlink.
Yeah, right. Well, it's all Tesla wrapped, right? Everything's around Elon Musk. So
Yeah.
You can put it on your boat. Well, that's cool. Yeah. What boat do I have? I don't have a boat. Well, we probably will get a boat soon, but that's a while. I just want to get a couple wave runners. I really don't want a boat. You want to see Christine get crazy? Get her on a wave runner.
What's a wave runner?
So wave runners are kind of like, they're basically water bikes is basically what they are.
Right,
They basically
yeah.
sit on and go, right?
Yeah.
She was on a 900cc. Anyway, she'll tell you the story. Maybe we'll talk about it on Drinking with Davis. Speed demon. She's a maniac. So $99 for Starlink. Is that per month? Pete, are you going to be selling it for them now or what? $99. Well, that's great. That's okay. For what? For what, man? Okay. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. I'll have to look it up online now. Thanks, guys, for stopping in. Thank you for celebrating my birthday week with me. Glenn, it's always a pleasure, man. Stick around. We'll talk after.
Yeah.
And we'll show you the rest of those fantastic fours. So
see you, everybody.
Carl, the next show will be drinking on the pontoon boat. No, we're not getting a pontoon boat. That's an old person's boat. Sorry for all you pontoon owners, but there are some nice ones on the lake, though. Let me tell you, beautiful. Some of them are, and a Great Lake pontoon boat is different than an inland lake pontoon boat. I'll just leave it at that. You guys have to look it up, but have a good week, guys. Thanks again. Check us out on Drinking with the Davies tomorrow night. That would be really, really great. I would love to. Hopefully, we still have internet connection, and if not, we'll switch over to Facebook Live like we did last week. I'll talk to you in a minute, Glenn. Thanks.
Yep. Okay. See you later.
Welcome to the Comics Unlimited podcast with your hosts, Glenn B. Fleming and Ted Davis.